Hello, right then. Praying Mantis have a 4 CD box set of archival live recordings, which is due to be released on the 26th of April 2026, which is about 10-11 weeks from today, which is the 4th of February 2026. It's titled as the official Bootleg box set Volume 1, live in Japan, and it contains 2 performances from Nagoya back then. 2 CDs make up a show from 1993, and the other 2 CDs are from a show from 1998. It's been released through Cherry Red, who always do these box sets so well that there'll be the usual sturdy clamshell box with the CDs in it and a booklet and whatnot. You know, they always do. They do lots of these things, and they're always so good. And we all know, don't we, the history that Praying Mantis were there right at the front of the early new wave of British heavy metal days, coming to some prominence at the start of all that with in particular their Captured City song, which appeared on that Metal for Mothers compilation. That bagged them a deal with Arista, which released the classic debut album of Time Tells No Lies. You know, that was 1981, wasn't it, I think? And here we are 45 years later, and Time Tells No Lies is, well, it remains a sort of a NWOBHM-related classic, doesn't it, I think? They moved labels after that, went to Jet, didn't work out, and then disappeared for nearly a decade, I think it was, wasn't it? With the Troy brothers going away and doing other stuff. A brief aside, but related, is that one of those projects that the Troys got involved in when Mantis disappeared for a bit was joining up with former Iron Maiden drummer Clive Burr and ex-Grand Prix vocalist Bernie Shaw, who of course we all know went on to be in Uriah Heep for about a decade. Well, when did he join Heep? Was that late 80s? Anyway, back to the point. That band that the Troy brothers and Clive Burr and Bernie Shaw were together in was named Stratus. They produced one album, Throwing Shapes, in 1985. That's a good obscurity if you can find it. It's a good stuff. But back to Praying Mantis. The Troys got the band back together in, I think it was 1990, new lineup, and keeping that Iron Maiden connection, Dennis Stratton had joined on guitar. And Praying Mantis had retained quite some popularity over in Japan, despite a decade in the wilderness, and they toured there quite a lot. And that's where these 2 shows in this box set were recorded on those 2 Japanese tours in 93 and 98. And we'll see how they sound when they come through. It'll be quite interesting to see how they do sound, because Mantis was quite a different band then than it is today. As I say, the first 2 CDs are from November 1993, and the second 2 from November 1998. And continuing that Iron Maiden connection, not only was Dennis Stratton in the band for a good few years, Paul Di'Anno had a brief stint on vocals in the early 90s. And of course, Praying Mantis remain active to this day with the Troy brothers still there, leading from the front. Now for me, and again this is just my opinion, Praying Mantis were at the best with Time Tells No Lies. I think that's excellent NWOBHM era stuff with some edge to it, and lots of melodics as well, which make it just that bit different, I think, from what was going on back then. I saw them a couple of times all the way back in the 80s. First supporting Triumph in 1980 in Manchester, and then again back to Manchester in 1981 when they were on with Gamma. But blimey, that brings back some memories. I've not been impressed. I've got to say, and this is just my opinion, I've not been impressed too much with their most recent albums, such as Catharsis and Defiance. Didn't do anything for me, either of those albums. So it will be interesting to see how these 2 old Japanese recordings come out in the box set. Because as I mentioned a few minutes ago, Praying Mantis were a much different band back then than they are now. And I also wonder that with Volume 1 being in the title of this box set, that's a hint that there might be more old live stuff to follow. We'll have to wait and see about that. But the release date for this one, as I said earlier, is the 26th of April 2026 via Cherry Red. It can be pre-ordered from them now. I'll drop a link to Cherry Red in the description. And at time of recording, 4th of February 2026, it's a reasonable priced at £28.99. So quite a good deal for four CDs, I would say, when I learn to talk properly. So seeing as I can't talk properly anymore, getting my tongue all in a tizzy, I'll disappear. Please subscribe to the channel before you go, because that's always a big help and appreciated. And until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and take care.